there, guys. Angelo with Advanced Renewable Concepts. I'm joined by our residential sales manager,
David Downs.
and today we are hopping onto a quick video just to say, don't buy solar in 2025 until you watch this. The reason we say that is in solar in 2025, there are, I would like to say, hundreds of different lending options.
For sure.
For sure. And they are all have their strengths and weaknesses. Some of them are better than others, and some of them are not made the same as others. Before we jump into that, though, before you even get to the financing question of, am I going to finance my solar project? Am I going to pay cash? Am I going to do a lease? Any of those options, you got to decide who's going to actually install your project first. And so vetting your installer is, I would say the most important thing before you ever decide to go solar is picking out who you're actually going to trust with your solar project, which at the end of the day is a construction project. And one of the most important things is the best place to probably start is reviews. I don't know about you guys, but anytime I buy anything these days, it doesn't matter if it's on Amazon, it doesn't matter if I'm going to eat, I'm going to check out those reviews. That is a great place to start, and also pick a company that's been in business a few years as well.
That's right. And the great thing about it is it's so easy to do. You just simply do a Google search, look at that company, see what other people have taken the time to write a Google review about, and you'll see some authentic comments there.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing is really important, solar. And if you're just starting to figure out if solar is right for your house, or maybe you've been looking at solar for a while and you just haven't made the leap yet, one of the other things I would add to that is pick somebody that you know is going to be around. And that can be a really loaded question and a really challenging,
for sure,
really challenging to come up with a good answer to. Is I would pick a local installer that seems like they've been in business for a while, but also is actually local. And that is one of the crazy things in solar as well, is sometimes it seems like you're picking the right installer, but then make sure you ask where they're physically located. Do they actually have local presence in your area? Are they, within 60, 75 miles of your installation location, or, do they have a physical location there that they can service your system as well?
Or another thing to look at, and look, we've all done it. You look at websites, there's so many companies that are promoting solar, and you're going to see picture after picture of smiley, happy people with beautiful sunrise images glaring across their faces. It looks lovely, doesn't it? They all have that. But if you're going to pick an installer to do this important construction project on your home, look at their website and see, can you find a picture where they're treating their people well, meaning they're providing with the safety equipment they need to operate safely on your home? If you're evaluating a solar proposal from a company that you haven't heard from before, take the time to do that research. And if they're not proving that their crews are operating safely at your home, then you understand you're taking a risk by working with that provider.
That's a great point, David. And one of the things I think, most, homeowners and even renters, depending on, how you're going solar, is when you choose that installation partner, at the end of the day, it's a long-term relationship. The reason when you really want to vet this relationship is this isn't the same as, buying just the new lawnmower from Home Depot or something basic like that. You're picking an installation partner with, because if it's like us, all of our products come with a 25-year manufacturer warranty and a pretty long workmanship warranty as well. So you want somebody that A, you're going to think is going to be around, and B, is actually going to be there if something breaks, if you need help.
And every electrical system can be unique. Now look, my house, I live in suburban St. Louis County, and I have the standard, what I would call standard electrical system of a 200 amp panel. But you know what? There's also a lot of people that go solar that don't have a 200 amp panel. You might have a 150. You might have a 100. You might have a very old fuse system in your house. All of these things need to be looked at and evaluated and uncovered in the process of going solar, because you need to find a solution that's going to pass inspection and be safe for your home.
And I think that's when you say pass inspection, I think that's super important too, is because just, getting the solar panels on your roof in a workable fashion is really the key. But will that system actually pass inspection? And I can, knock on some wood here. I would say at the end of the day, solar is a construction project. Will any provider get it right 100% of the time? No. If any solar installer is telling you they get it right the 100% of the time, you should be deleting their number and running the other direction, because it is just not the reality of doing a construction project, dealing with AHJs, dealing with utility providers.
Right.
There's going to be stuff teams miss, because at the end of the day, it's a human installing a solar project. But what comes true to that, though, also is if there is an opportunity for something to, be done differently, can the team or the provider that you have out there to actually install your solar panels, can they fix that? Can they follow through with that if something, doesn't pass inspection for something minor, whether it's, a placard or a sticker on the panel that wasn't there, is misaligned. The utility providers and AHJs, when I say AHJ, I mean authority having jurisdiction, like your city or your county that does your permitting, they may fail a system for something like that.
That's right. That's right. And you want a company that has the service and the expertise to come back and take care of that stuff. What you don't want to find yourself in the situation is you bought a system from somebody who sold you maybe over a video meeting, but then what they're doing is they're paying the lowest bidder to come build that system at your house. 6 months or a year or two later, if there's a problem, what's the chance you're going to be able to find that lowest bidder that provided a crew and an electrician to come to your home? That's real risk that you're taking on when you go with that approach.
And just, sometimes what we hear in the marketplace is, we do a lot of service recovery and system recovery for, systems that haven't actually been completed, whether that we get that information, directly from a homeowner or, the financial entity that, you originally assigned your project to. So we do a lot of actually finishing up other people's work here. So when it comes to experience level with mitigating those situations, that's something we regularly do here. And so I think that brings us to the next part is, financing. When you decide to go solar, you have so many options out there, like we have initially talked about. And as always, cash is king. Cash will always be your best bet. Cash will always be your closest return on investment. Most solar providers as well, depending on the financing methodology you pick, whether that's the cash price, a financed price with some type of specialty solar financing. Maybe it's what we call like a lease or a power purchase agreement, or, a combination of all the above, because there are so many lending opportunities out there these days as well. It doesn't matter which one you pick at the end of the day. It matters which one makes the most sense to you and works best for your financial situation, because everybody's financial situation is different.
That's right. And you should ask questions.
Yep.
The person that's trying to sell you that array should be able to answer all of your questions about the financing. Again, as Angelo said, we've seen all kinds of different solutions. You really have to just think about what are your goals and then look at the possible solutions for that. Understand that every kind of financing has some cost to it. There is no such thing as free money. We all know that. So it's true with lending institutions too around solar. Some companies, we've all seen the ads for years, the zero down, zero cost. Well, believe you me.
Or the free solar.
Or the free solar.
Free solar.
Believe me when I say those costs are baked into the price you're paying. There is no such thing as free money. So sometimes we even recommend people, if you have the equity in your house, a home equity line of credit can be a great solution for going solar, because the equity is tied to your house. For us as an installer, that looks like a cash project. So again, you get the best return on investment, and compared to other lending solutions, there can be lower fees associated with that. So again, you want to look at all the possibilities and ask good questions and make sure you're getting answers that make sense to you.
Absolutely. And as it goes, we talked about, a little bit about the financing portion of it, and, how you actually, which one to pick is best for you. David, you said it best, ask questions. Other one is incentives. We hear about incentives all day, every day, whether that's an incentive, a rebate, a credit. One thing I strive to make sure every homeowner or renter, depending on your situation, understands is credits and rebates and incentives are not guaranteed. Again, if any solar financer out there, or partner or sales organization, anybody out there is telling you, I guarantee you will get this funding or this incentive, that should definitely be a raise your hand moment. You should definitely be raising your hand and saying, hey, How do you absolutely guarantee? Now, with a high degree of certainty, with a lot of the rebates and incentives we regularly work with, whether it's state-backed program or some of the federal incentives and making sure we're in compliance with those, with a high degree of certainty, we can tell you, like, yes, we think you're going to get this much money. But that's because, we're either, an approved vendor or, an aggregator for such rec credits. A lot of vendors aren't. So,
Right. Or I've seen a lot of solar proposals over the years where it looks like this. They'll show you the federal investment tax credit. They'll show you the Illinois Shines rebate. And then there'll be a third line that just says, insert the name of their company here minus $1,500.
yeah.
Where's that coming from? And if you ask that provider, well, what's this? They'll call it a credit or a rebate. Oh, well, that's because we do projects at such a volume, we can offer these incredible rebates to our customers. No, that's sales gamesmanship. You should ask those questions. Who's behind that number? What's the program? So again, in Illinois, we can show you the Illinois Shines website where that incentive comes from. We can show you the IRS forms or pages that talk about the federal investment tax credit. And if you're an Ameren, Illinois customer, we can show you what the smart inverter rebate, how it's calculated. But just a random insert the name of company here minus $1,500, they're playing games with you.
Absolutely. And again, that kind of comes to, you just brought up a couple of utility providers and you got, which areas, do we actually service? We service the entire state of Missouri as well as the entire state of Illinois with the exception of Cook County and Illinois. So that means we do service Ameren territory. I would say most of the municipal electrical providers in the state of Illinois, there are tens, 20, hundreds of them out there.
And co-ops.
I would say we service just about all of them. There's very few that we don't service, and ComEd territory as well. So, and you talked about the smart inverter rebate as well. That is also for ComEd as well. So, kind of boiling it down to is when you decide to go solar, there are a lot of variables. But what you have to do is if you pick the right installer in the right team, these variables are in somebody else's court, which is ours or another approved vendor or another fantastic company that's out there. Finding a trusted partner that can guide you through this process and give you real answers of which products make most sense for my house. Does a battery make sense in my scenario? Which incentives do you think actually make sense for me? And also, when it comes to ARC, when you work with a trusted partner or somebody that really is providing you good information, trust the yes and also trust the no. If us as ARC are telling you no, I don't think solar is makes sense on your provider, take that and know that we're not just looking at you as another number. We're not just looking at you as a way to make a buck at the end of the day. We're telling you no because at the end of the day, this is a business, and businesses have to make money to stay afloat. But we also think it's expressly valuable to tell people no when no is important and the no is correct, because I honestly think the no is more important than the yes for us most of the time as well.
Sure.
So thanks for listening in, guys. Again, Angelo with Advanced Renewable Concepts and David. If you ever need anything from us, whether you're an existing customer or maybe a future customer, or you're just looking in the idea of solar, whether that be for your residential property, commercial, nonprofit, or public entity, we do it all. We're your one-stop shop. Don't feel free to shoot us a message, whether it's text, email, call, whatever's most convenient for you. Works for us, and we look forward to hearing from you. Talk soon.